I was involved as a member of the City Council going back into the 60s when the city prepared for its first cable operation. And as I became mayor in 1973, that's when we really got into public access. We worked with Complete Channel TV and made a commitment for funding for city and municipal access, funding for public access. Let me tell you how proud I am of the work that's been done by WYOU. Given my years in public office, spanning 40, I can boast that I probably have been criticized on WYOU more than anyone else in the city of Madison. That's what it's all about. It's the ability of people to have a forum in this very important medium to express themselves, to challenge, to question. And then there's another part of it. It's the part of people picking up skills that go beyond the 1 or 2 or 5, in some cases 15 or 20 years that they spend at WYOU. It may be skills that they use as professionals. It may be skills that they utilize as active citizens. But one of the things we know that's so important as consolidation takes place in the corporate media world is that the tiny voices that become gigantic echoes through the WYOUs of this country are so essential to not just our politics, but to our cultural understanding, to our view of the world. What happened a few years ago when AT&T rolled into the Wisconsin legislature, as they were doing in states around America, was sad and it was tragic. I wasn't in office at the time, but I remember joining with others so concerned about this medium. And I think what struck me about that event was just how incredibly selfish some of these corporations were. Similar legislation had been introduced in the state of Illinois. But that legislation had allowed for a little more access, a little more vitality for the public. And we asked AT&T, can't you do in Wisconsin what you did in Illinois? And you know what the answer was. And the answer was no, for a very simple reason. They had more control of our legislators than they had in Illinois, and they were taking it as far as they could. Well, as we've learned over the years, when a state preempts a local municipality, the federal government can preempt a state. In 1998, we elected a woman to the House of Representatives for this congressional district. And it was almost like she was on this Quixote-like crusade with only one thing coming out of her mouth: health care. Here we are 16 years later. We may not have single payer, but we do have a national health care program. That's why I'm excited, and that's why I'm invigorated. Because Tammy Baldwin has taken up this issue. It may be a long struggle, as was healthcare, but I don't know about you, I feel very good. I wouldn't want anyone else leading this effort. And I can assure you that when we go to the annual meeting of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, where for many years I have been battling on all the telecommunications issues, we will adopt a resolution supporting the efforts of the federal government through the legislation that Representative Baldwin's introducing to expand public access to all media, particularly telecommunications, and get us our rightful place in the airwaves and on the cables, which is so critical to the future of our community and our democracy. The situation goes beyond our kind of access. I just want to mention one other thing we can't overlook, and it's the digital divide. Here in Madison, we're probably not much different than the rest of the country. We don't have accurate data, but it's probably safe to say that between 40 and 50% of African American, Latino, Latina, Asian youth do not have access to the internet. I raised 3 daughters in this age, and I simply can't comprehend how their education could have succeeded without the access that they had. It's not just a question. It's not just a question of academic success, but it's a question of understanding what is going on in our world. More of these kids have access to a smartphone than they do to a computer with all of its versatility and what it can do. And that is just one more part of this battle, which we will win. So with that, I'd like to thank all of you who've contributed to WYOU over the years, contributed money, time, heart, and congratulate you on a job that has meant so much to our city, to our community, and to the best I can guarantee that we will continue crossing that divide and making all those connections. Thank you.